Today I'm doing Hello Kitty for you. So I'm using an oval pan. I've made a frame that fits perfectly to the top of this cake. When cutting shapes with a template on fondant, I suggest that you not use an X-Acto knife. What happens with an X-Acto knife, fondant and gum paste is sticky, it has elasticity, so when you pull your knife through there, it'll tend to drag and pull and not make a really nice cut. This here is a very good tool. It's like a little tiny, this smaller than the other end, pizza cutter. And so what this does actually rolls over the fondant or the gum paste and cuts through it without that stretching that warps your finished product. And it gives you a nice kind of like flattened edge, sort of like if you were using a cutter. So this is a handy tool if you're working in cakes. Here I've got a combination gum paste fondant. I would say a quarter of it is gum paste. And now I'm going to roll this out, not too thin. So we're going to cut this out now. We've got on the cookie sheet so that it doesn't get warped. So we're going to start with the outside perimeter. So try with your hand to hold it. I suggest you make this frame at least 2 weeks in advance so that it's very dry so that you can easily pick it up and it won't crack when you place it on top of the cake. Now I want to add a bit of decoration to this frame. So I'm adding some pearls to that inside border. I have this silicone mold that's basically a string of pearls. So you just have to dust it with some cornstarch or whatever it is that you use. And I find it works better if you have a snake. Make us like a snake, the length of the mold, and then you can just press it in. And then you can actually pass over it with your rolling pin. And then with your thumb, you can remove the excess, pushing it back in. There's perhaps an easier way, but I find if I roll my string, my spaghetti, or whatever, my snake in the beginning too small, then they're not filled. The cavities aren't filled. There we go. Certainly faster than rolling all these little balls, not to mention they're all perfectly uniform thanks to this tool. And it's a pretty long string of pearls, so you should be good. Well, depending what you're doing. I saw a cake that was wrapped the whole way up with this. I do not have the patience for that type of a project, but it was lovely. Alright, so now we're done. Give it a last pass with the rolling pin. And now this is the easy part with silicone. You see, you can just pull it out and it pops right out. Now it broke, not a problem. These are just little beads, so they join up super easily. Whoops, wrong brush. So now I'm just using water to glue my string of pearls to the frame. I've got a piece of paper inside the shape of the frame that I wanted the opening just to maintain because it's wet and I don't want it to get warped. So this helps me keep the shape right. So you see it was broken, it broke again. You just push them into each other and it's not a problem. I'm working in white because I'm going to be painting it after. So everything will be the same color. I'm not decided if I'm going to do a gold frame or maybe I'll do a kind of metallic pink frame. And I actually have too much, so I'll just rip off the excess. And there. And you can just give it a little pat down. And there's the inside of that frame. I've worked my way around the frame. Here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see. I'm just adding these flowers all the way around to make it a little bit more ornate. So just work your way around and have it fit in these little scallops. Here is the completed frame. We can see it's got flowers all the way around, and it's just now going to have to dry, and then it'll be ready to put on the cake. I decided to color my frame pink, so I'm spraying that, and it's the same pink as my cupcake toppers. And once I've got a pretty even coverage, I'm going to come back and spray it pearl. I want it to be shiny. Here's one of the cupcake toppers with my cake frame, and I want to tie the two together. I think I'm going to flood this area here in black, just to get some black on my frame. Just coax it into the crevices and it'll heal. Now I'm just quickly filling these areas out. This royal icing actually softened my gum paste, and if I was to do this project again, I would start the frame a few weeks earlier to give everything really ample time to dry. Here's the frame and the cupcake topper. I think that they tie in a little bit better together. Let's bring in a cookie. Here's the complete set, so everything kind of goes together. Going to painting this cake, I'm going to mask the top. I don't want to have any airbrush on there. So I'm putting an oval, I've measured it. I'm going to center this on my cake. So this will protect it from getting airbrush on it. And now I want stripes on it. So I'm going to mask again using tape. Oh, that one's not straight. Try to get your stripes straight. I've got my cake all masked, and now I'm giving it a spray with gold color, going all the way around the cake, and then on top of that I'm going to spray it with metallic gold to get the shine. Once I've got even coverage everywhere, I'm going to be able to remove the tape to reveal my stripes. Be careful not to touch the cake. So to figure out where to put Hello Kitty, I'm just going to put back my little oval here. And I'll take the sticky off of her so I can glue her on. She needs to protect the white on the cake. And using adhesive paper really cuts down on the underspray getting onto the cake. Alright, so here she goes. Whoops. Alright, she goes like that. We can take this off. Now you can rub her down so that she's nice and stuck on. And there we go. Okay. And now, let me touch this. I want to have the circle around here protected as well. Got the cake masked here, the oval to protect the gold. Got my Hello Kitty stuck on to protect the white behind her. And now I'm going to paint my scene. I've got my compressor at only 20. I want my clouds to be very light. Just make sure your sticker is on well. I've got that template to make my clouds. And just follow the I've got my stencil protection. I'm going to have my grass there. There we go. And now I'm going to make a tree. I've got my little tree in place. My stencil. And just there we go. So I got a little overspray right here. Now I'm going to just airbrush the leaves for the tree. There we go. I think I'm going to just add a bit to that grass. It's a little washed out. Yeah, let's do another row. There we go. So let's see how she looks. So that's the cake there, exposed. So now we just have to do her shirt. Now I've cut out Hello Kitty's clothes. And I've put her back to protect the cake. And now I'm going to be airbrushing her outfit. Alright, so light dusting of pink. Now I've replaced her little overalls to protect there, and we're going to dust here so it's a different color. Alright, let's see what we've got. Now that it's all airbrushed, there's just a little hiccup here, but I'll live with it. Now we're going to outline it. I'm using black royal icing, and I think it was a 3-tip to outline Hello Kitty here. It's easy to do. I have those lines and I can kind of guess where to go. Now I'm going to be using my template to just mark the eyes, to know where to pipe them to get them absolutely perfect, since that's the most important part of her face. And now I'm just adding a few other little details, some flowers and a few leaves. Now I've placed the frame around Hello Kitty. This frame was glued on with royal icing, and I got a couple of little cracks, and so I'm just doing some swirls to hide the cracks that I got.